You are making a huge mistake every single time you finish a hard workout and decide to spend the next day sitting on your couch. Most people think resting means doing absolutely nothing, but that one habit might be the exact reason your progress has completely stalled out lately. Welcome to the truth about how your body actually repairs itself and why being lazy on your off days is ruining your athletic performance. I know the feeling of being so sore that even walking down the stairs feels like a massive chore after a heavy leg day. You think that by staying still you are giving your muscles the best chance to grow back stronger, but the science says otherwise. Today we are breaking down the secret of active recovery and why moving just a little bit is the real key to elite gains. We are going to look at why your blood is like a delivery truck and why sitting still is like letting those trucks get stuck in traffic. By the end of this video you will know exactly how to spend your rest days so you can walk back into the gym feeling like a superhero. Most of us were raised on the myth of total rest, where we believe that the harder we work the more we should stay still. We treat our bodies like a battery that just needs to be plugged in and ignored until it reaches 100% again. But your body is not a battery, it is a complex biological machine that relies on movement to keep the internal systems running smoothly. Active recovery is simply doing very low-intensity exercise that gets your heart rate between 30 and 60% of its maximum capacity. If you just sit there, your limbs start to feel heavy and your joints get stiff like a rusty gate that has not been opened in years. This is what experts call the passive pitfall, and it is the fastest way to feel sluggish when your next big training session rolls around. Think about what happens to your blood when you are moving versus when you are just lying down on the restless sofa all afternoon. When you move, your muscles act like a second pump for your heart, pushing oxygenated blood into every single fiber that you tore during your workout. Those tiny micro tears in your muscles need fresh nutrients and oxygen to knit back together and become bigger and more resilient than before. If you are just sitting still, the blood flow slows down and those much-needed nutrients take a lot longer to reach their final destination. Imagine a delivery driver trying to get a package to your door, but all the roads are blocked by parked cars and construction zones. Active recovery clears those roads so the amino acids and glycogen can get to your muscles exactly when they are needed the most for repair. Let's talk about lactic acid and all the other metabolic junk that builds up in your system after you push yourself to the limit. After a heavy squat session, your legs feel like they are filled with lead because of the byproducts left behind from that intense physical effort. If you hop on a bike for a light 15-minute spin at a very easy pace, you are literally flushing that junk out of your system. Research shows that light movement clears metabolic waste significantly faster than lying in bed or sitting at a desk for 8 hours straight. It is like taking a dirty sponge and squeezing it under running water until all the soap and grime are finally washed away for good. You have probably dealt with delayed onset muscle soreness or DOMS, which makes you walk like a penguin the day after a big lift. Movement helps break up the tiny adhesions in your connective tissue and keeps your muscles from tightening up into painful knots that limit your movement. Going for a brisk walk the day after a grueling HIIT class can actually reduce that stinging pain and help you feel much more mobile. There is also the lymphatic system to consider, which is like the trash collection service for your entire body and your immune system. Unlike your blood, the lymphatic fluid does not have a heart to pump it around, so it completely relies on your muscles moving to circulate. When you stay still, the waste just sits there, but when you move, you are effectively taking out the trash so your body stays clean. Your joints also need some love because they rely on something called synovial fluid to stay lubricated and move without any grinding or clicking. Movement is what triggers the production of this fluid, so doing some light cat-cow stretches or bodyweight circles keeps your joints feeling greased. Think of it like an old car engine that needs to run for a few minutes to get the oil moving before you can drive it fast. If you don't move, you lose your range of motion because your muscles start to shorten and tighten up during those long periods of sitting. Active recovery keeps your nervous system online and maintains that vital mind-muscle connection without actually adding more fatigue to your tired central nervous system. A great example of this is shadowboxing at 20% speed just to keep your form sharp without the impact of hitting a heavy bag. You can also use these days for micro-loading, which is just practicing complex movements like the snatch or the deadlift with zero weight. This allows you to get more total movement minutes into your week, which adds up to huge performance gains over the course of a year. Keeping your core temperature slightly elevated also helps maintain muscle elasticity, so you are less likely to pull something when you start training again. But the benefits of active recovery are not just physical, because your brain actually needs these light movement sessions just as much as your muscles. Sitting around doing nothing can lead to a spike in cortisol because you feel restless or bored, which can actually hinder your overall recovery process. Low-intensity movement like a scenic hike has been proven to lower stress hormones and put your body into a state of deep relaxation. It also helps you maintain the habit loop, which is the mental discipline of showing up for your health even when you aren't lifting heavy. Staying in the routine of doing something every day makes it much easier to stay consistent and avoids the trap of getting lazy. Light activity also helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which means you will fall asleep faster and get much better quality rest at night. Deep sleep is when the real magic happens, because that is when your body releases the most growth hormone to fix your damaged tissues. You also avoid the post-workout crash or that irritability that many athletes feel on their off days because you are still getting endorphins. Those feel-good chemicals keep your mood stable and stop you from feeling like a grumpy person just because you aren't smashing a PR today. There is even a link between light aerobic activity and increased cognitive function, which means you will be more focused for your next session. So how do you actually do this without accidentally turning your recovery day into another exhausting workout that leaves you even more tired? Swimming is one of the best tools because the buoyancy of the water takes all the pressure off your spine and your aching joints. Yoga and flow work are also incredible because they combine mobility with deep breathing to reset your nervous system into a calm state. Even something as simple as a coffee walk where you just stroll to a local shop can help you hit your movement goals easily. If you have access to a gym, you can try very light sled drags, which build blood flow without causing any extra muscle damage. The key is to keep it fun and non-linear, so try playing a game of frisbee or going for a light hike with your friends. The biggest mistake people make is falling into the intensity trap, where they start going too fast and turn it into a cardio session. You need to monitor your heart rate using a wearable device to make sure you stay in zone 1 or zone 2 the whole time. Keep these sessions under 45 minutes because you do not want to deplete your glycogen stores when you should be refilling them. You have to listen to your body and realize that if you are actually sick or injured, then maybe you do need a day of real rest. But for 90% of situations, moving your body is going to be the fastest way to get back to your peak performance levels. Active recovery creates an athlete who is ready for anything and who never feels that heavy stiffness that comes from being a couch potato. It is the secret weapon of the pros who know that the work doesn't stop just because the gym session is officially over for the day. If you start incorporating these light movements, you will see your strength and your endurance skyrocket because you are recovering while others are rotting. Your body was designed to move, and by honoring that design, you are giving yourself the best gift possible for your long-term fitness journey. Stop looking at rest as a period of being dead and start looking at it as a period of active and intentional healing for your soul. Every step you take on your off day is a step toward a better version of yourself that is stronger and more capable than before. You will notice that your warm-ups feel easier and your joints feel younger because you haven't let the rust settle into your bones. This is the difference between someone who just exercises and someone who truly understands the science of high-level athletic human performance. I want you to try this for 1 week and see how much better you feel when you step back under that heavy barbell again. I promise you will be shocked at how much more energy you have when you stop being still and start moving with a clear purpose. Make sure you share this with your workout partner who always complains about being too sore to move on their rest days. Let's change the culture of fitness from being one of burnout and laziness to one of smart and efficient active recovery for everyone. Hit the like button if you are trading the couch for a walk this Sunday, and subscribe for more tips to level up. Check out the next video on the screen to keep improving your training right now.